on to a completely different subject, which brought on by the fact that I didn't have anything else to do, and I asked some of my friends what I should vlog about in DC. It's just like, DLC? We're gonna be talking about DLC. I don't have much of an opinion about DLC. Sorry, DC. Just like, I don't really mind, but I don't really care. Like, I don't know, I haven't had that much of a bad experience with DLC, mostly because I don't buy much DLC. Most of the DLC I've bought has been for the Dragon Age series, and I've really enjoyed that. That's been really nice and fun. It's like little extra chapters to the game. On Mass Effect, I've heard that Mass Effect 3's ending was like batshit bad, and everyone was like really upset about it, and that they made a DLC to fix the bad ending. And I'm just like, okay. Like, really, that just shows flaws in like the story design people, like where that's at. Like, maybe they were rushed through production or something? I don't know. I've still got a lot of game to go through because I'm like only halfway through the first Mass Effect, and I want to play all 3 of them, and I will buy the DLC for Mass Effect 3 so that I can get a better ending than whatever it was originally in the game. Why would they make an ending that everyone would hate? I don't understand. There had to have been a way to avoid that. I don't understand. But whatever. But yeah, like I said, I haven't had that. There's some DLC for BioShock, like BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite, that I kind of want to get into at some point eventually, but I was just super tired with BioShock by the time I was done with it. Well, yeah, I just haven't bought much DLC to have much of an opinion at all on any of it. Because I hear like a lot of people talking about how DLC is scalping the gaming industry and stuff like that. And like, I do agree, when there's stuff like, if you have like DLC that's putting stuff into the game that should have been in the game already, like the Trespasser DLC for Dragon Age Inquisition, I felt like that should have just been a part of the natural game. Like, that should have been in the game to begin with because it's that integral to the story. But it's a DLC. And I'm just like... just that face. Just that face. They could have put that as part of an entirely different game and it would have been fine. Like, maybe if they had, like, that could have been kind of cool. That could have been kind of cool. Like, if they did a Dragon Age Awakening sort of deal with Trespasser. That would have been interesting. I would have enjoyed that. Just made it even bigger, and it would be sort of like a separate little game, and it would have worked. But oh well. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've seen DLC for things like skins, like different skins for different like characters or whatever, and like a whole lot of multiplayer games. Like Depth has a lot of DLC for skins. I don't really get that myself. What really gets my goat though is like if you buy a game and then there's microtransactions in the game. I don't have a specific example of that, because most of the games where I've seen microtransactions, I've actually played because they were free to download stuff. Things like Neverwinter Nights, the MMO. I really enjoy Neverwinter Nights, the MMO. What I do get frustrated with is when you get into the higher levels, it's pretty much impossible to do jack shit if you haven't spent like $100 on the game just on like upgrading crystals and stuff to get like the highest artifact gear and whatever, and like the highest grade companions, and like that bothers me. And like, I don't play paladins as much as maybe I would normally, just because like I tried paladins, but there were characters you could only unlock by like getting in-game currency from leveling up the beginning characters, and then extra outside currency to buy the other characters. And I'm just like, I don't have the money for that. If I had money to do that, I would spend it on more important things like house renovations. That's what I would do. Or more games. I would spend it on Mass Effect Andromeda. But I'm not there to Mass Effect Andromeda quite yet. I have a lot of game to get through. Oh my goodness. But yeah, microtransactions are the pits. DLC depends on what the DLC is. If it's like adding more to a game instead of just like being a why didn't you include this in the game to begin with sort of thing, or why didn't you just make a different game entirely sort of thing. I don't know. It's a complex and multifaceted subject that I'm not well versed enough in.